Hi, I'm Whack.
Hey, and I'm Pat. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Weekly Orbit, this week ending Friday, January 24th. Whack, it's a new week, new administration in the United States. We've got some news about an airdrop for rocket poolers and some other news. It's been a crappy week so far, so please tell me something good.
Something good. I don't think there's that much good news, Pat. Like, sadly, it looks like it's dark all around. You had a prediction a few weeks ago that Detroit Lions are going to win the Super Bowl,
No,
and they're out. And then
already.
crypto now is in the crime era or the
I
grift
know,
era.
I
So
know.
that's fun. Yay. And, we spent all these years trying to legitimize crypto and say that this is actually something pretty cool. And now it's like, well, maybe not. Maybe it can be whatever you want it to be. So that's fun. But no,
I know. So my predictions, I said Baltimore Ravens versus the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl, and both teams are out. So, but my Buffalo Bills, my favorite team, they're going to be playing Kansas City this weekend. So,
they're going strong.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I rooted against
Good luck.
them, uh, but I was hoping that they'd win. So the Ravens
Nice.
lost to the Bills. So so
Okay.
far, not too good on our predictions for 2025. But hopefully that'll change. Let's take a
Yeah.
look at markets for this week. Ethereum is down on the week, I believe. Look at right now, it's 3,257. It's down about 1.8% on the week.
Yeah.
It seems like all the juice got squeezed out of the room like this last week by this official Trump meme coin, which just came blazing onto the scene. I think it was last weekend, but it was
Yeah.
before the
Friday night.
inauguration. Yeah. I mean, I'll give my opinion on this. 80% held by the team. This is just grifters grifting. It's sad because I know there's a lot of optimism about regulatory changes given the new administration, but this is just absurd. And the dump on retail is going to be epic once the token unlock goes. I think it was like 90 days or something. But
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 3 months. Yeah, for the
80%. I mean, come on. In fairness, I wish Gary Gensler would have been over the last few years working on a framework so that this type of grift wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Setting up something where it's like, okay, you can hold 20% instead of 80% for the team. But in any event, any comments about
Yeah,
this
it
token?
literally has like changed the game completely. Never has a coin pumped so fast, so quickly. It went from zero to $70 billion fully diluted market cap within the space of 36 hours. It became a top 15 coin based on the circulating supply. It's just astonishing rise. For a while there, people thought that is, his Trump's social media has been hacked, and that that this wasn't real. But then it was real, so everyone just piled in. Like Solana it's launched on Solana, so Solana transactions just went through the roof. Like the busiest day in crypto trading history, pretty much. Like every metric was smashed. On-chain trades, on-chain swaps, like bridging. So a lot of people were selling their altcoins, their majors even, and bridging the money to Solana and trying to buy this coin as quickly as possible. And some people got really decent entries. Even some people in the Rocket Pool community got in at $5 and $10, which was a really, really good price considering. Like, it ran up to like 72 or $73 on the 19th, which was Monday. So it really like just flew. So I've never seen anything like this in crypto before. Like so many of my coins just like bled completely because people were just dumping them to try to go and buy this Trump coin, right? And then that's fine. Like, you can kind of make an excuse saying that this is a new era. They're trying to like mark a new era with like, this new signaling, whatever. But then, a couple of days later, we got the Melania coin. And I think that was like, that really just showed you that there was a grift, there was some kind of grifting going on here because it just made no sense to launch that token. I think, from some of the things that I'm hearing is that people who would have gotten in on the Trump coin, like, insiders, they either sold their tokens too early, or they weren't able to get into position because Solana was so congested, and they wanted like to run the playbook again. and that's why they did the Melania thing, just so those insiders could get their positions and try to, make some money.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like the whole situation just thinks like it's really rotten.
Yeah.
I was incredibly upset by the whole thing. Overall, just that whole over the whole weekend and the culmination and some of the stuff that I saw around the inauguration, I was really upset on Monday. But like, let's keep politics out of this. Like,
I know.
hopefully
I saw one wallet that had, it was funded 4 hours before the token launch with $1 million.
with $1 million.
And within 1 minute of it going live, they had bought up $1 million in token. It's just like all insider grifting,
And then that went up.
it's
That
gross.
one person, I think they sold their tokens for $300 million. So it was a 300x in the space of a couple of days.
Yeah. Anyways, that type of stuff's gross. And, just getting outside of our little bubble here in the universe, listen to other podcasts that have nothing to do with crypto. And, it paints the industry in a terrible light. They start talking about SBF and all the scam artists, and this just gives them, this is fuel for the fire. This type of token launch. This is not. I don't think this is. I don't know. The counter. There's two sides of this. One is, well, this shows as a signal, and it shows that we've entered a new era. Blah blah blah. Yes, but there's all kinds of. There's different ways to do this, and this is not. This is the type that gives the opponents of crypto all kinds of ammo to go after the industry. So,
absolutely.
But let's move on to talk about RPL here. Let's see. RPL's had a tough week too. It's down 14% in the last 7 days. It's $9.08. On the 5-day, let's take a look at the trading view compared to the broader markets on the 5-day. It's struggling against ETH. ETH is down about 2% here on the 5-day, whereas RPL is down about 12%. So rough week for RPL as well. Final chart on the markets. We got ETF flows, and it's been positive for Ethereum. Going back to last week on the 17th, we had 24 million. Monday was a holiday. Tuesday, Wednesday, we had inflows of 74 million and 71 million respectively. So on the positive for ETF flows, but I think if we go back to the Ethereum chart, the ETH BTC ratio, it's at 0.031, that's approaching a low, isn't it?
We actually hit low this week. Yeah, we went below 3. It hit 297, I think, something like that. So we got a new low on the ETH BTC ratio. We got a new low on the RPL ETH ratio as well, down to 0.0028, I want to say. Maybe 2.7 even, but somewhere around that area. We haven't hit a new low, cycle low against USD yet, but like we're teetering on the edge of that for RPL. Like, another bad day or two, and we will be at new lows for the cycle, like since Atlas. So it's really tough. Like I feel like there's this jubilation around crypto right now, and it's just kind of skipped ETH and kind of skipped Rocket Pool, and there's the outcome of that is hugely negative sentiment in Rocket Pool community. People are exiting their validators. People are selling their RPL. Like it feels like kind of like a capitulation event of just people who've been around for a while, right? Like are really upset and like really voicing their frustrations and their angers. And then alongside that, we have in the ETH community, like, on crypto Twitter, it's just a civil war basically is brewing, with people turning on the Ethereum Foundation, Vitalik, well, not Vitalik directly, but like just the management of the Ethereum Foundation and what the Ethereum Foundation does. That's become like the scapegoat of, the poor ETH performance against BTC and Solana. So I feel like there's, a fractal where there's the ETH dissatisfaction with ETH, and then there's a fractal of that with the dissatisfaction with RPL. So sadly for us, Rocket Poolers, we get double that dissatisfaction. So, we're getting hit by the RPL price, and then we're also getting hit by ETH not moving against other cryptos. So it's been a really, really rough period. And the thing is that, you get these glimmers of hope, like, in end of November, I think, or around beginning of December time, RPL went to $20, and we had finally thought that, we were breaking out of this like, this downtrend that had just been hitting us for years, literally. I looked like, we were going to get out of that, and sadly we just got pulled back into it, and like, hitting new lows is really tough. So I think, it's hurting a lot of people, and I've not seen sentiment this low in like the communities that I'm part of for a while. With civil war in the Ethereum level, people removing .eth from their names, which is just ridiculous. And then also, in Rocket Pool community, people like selling their validators, stopping their validators. Now, one thing to note is actually that might not be a bad thing for Rocket Pool itself, because if validators exit, they can use the exit ARB, and they can get about 0.2 ETH right now for a validator to exit by using the exit ARB. But that helps our ETH go back to peg. So a few days ago, when Neso stopped selling their our ETH, they put their last chunk into EigenLayer to restake their our ETH. But the depeg was 0.925%, somewhere around there, and now we're at 0.7%. So we have gotten closer to peg, but we need to keep going, basically. And there are all these different things that are just hurting sentiment massively. So it's been a really tough time. Like, when you're watching other tokens like do like hundreds of multiples on their valuations within a very short amount of time, or things like Solana hitting all-time highs, Bitcoin hitting all-time highs, and the tokens that you're holding are lagging. It's really tough. It's really tough to go through that, and it's just I can't say anything other than like, hold on. I don't even know, like, it's really, really hard to even console people by saying that it'll be okay, because who knows if it's going to be okay. So yeah, it's a tough time.
But as in this, we've been around long enough where we can see how quickly sentiment can shift one way or the other.
Yeah.
Right. And everyone's feeling crappy,
yeah,
and then the next week they're feeling jubilant, and then the next week they're crappy. It can go both ways quickly. It doesn't take much.
So the Trump meme coin was like, grifty, like we said. But another project that Trump had launched was World Liberty Financial.
Yeah, and we'll get to that.
And that was launched a few months ago with a pre-sale. And that kind of felt grifty at the time as well, but now it seems so legit compared to the meme coin. But they were doing a pre-sale, right? And like, they raised a lot of money, like hundreds of millions of dollars. And they're swapping a lot of the money that's coming into ETH. Then, in fact, they've raised like $200 million of ETH. So one of those things that was giving the Rocket Pool community hope a few days ago was that, they could use some of that ETH and buy our ETH with it. And sadly, what ended up happening instead is that they bought I'm getting ahead of the agenda.
That's okay. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, they ended up buying Lido's ST ETH instead with 10,000 ETH. So I think that was a sucker punch for the community, because Jasper reached out to them. They responded positively. They were busy with the inauguration stuff, so Jasper was like, yeah, we'll catch up soon. And then before they were able to catch up again, they had gone and bought a chunk of ST ETH. And even if they go and buy our ETH now, and even if they end up having more our ETH, that first step they took was towards Lido, right? And that is a huge hit to morale and confidence. And yeah, I don't know, like Pat, there were a few of those things that was just tough this week. So yeah,
right. I could see them. I mean, from their, and we're talking about World Liberty Coin here, which is a DeFi protocol that the Trump folks have set up.
Yeah.
When they seem to be spreading their money around. They're trying. They bought ETH. They've bought BTC, wrap BCC. Which is interesting. Yep. I saw Michael Saylor tweeting, "Hey, the president's buying BTC." And it's like, well, it's actually BTC on Ethereum he's buying, which is cool. Bought a few different coins around, kind of spreading. Tron,
Aave, Ondo, and Link. I think those are the main ones that they've been buying.
Yeah, so spreading it around, and then the ST ETH. Wouldn't surprise, if they bought some R ETH, to be honest, because it seems like they're trying to diversify and then they launched the meme coin on Solana. And then there's now talk that when the World Liberty coin launches, it's going to be on Ethereum.
Yeah.
Right. So they're kind of putting their eggs in a lot of baskets. Probably part of it's diversity. for portfolio management, but also, they know that they want to satisfy everybody in the industry, so they're kind of spreading their money around. Wouldn't surprise if they did a little bit of rETH. They may not. We're showing on the screen a Jasper's conversation with Corey Kaplan from the World Liberty Coin, and they say, hey there, we'd love to chat about World Liberty and Rocket Pool if you have some time. And say, sure thing, I can connect you with one of the founders. Message them on Telegram. So we'll see what happens from that. But if we look at, here's the list of coins that the World Liberty has bought. So they had 47 million in ETH, 47 million in WRAP Bitcoin, 4.7 million Aave, 4.7 in Link, 4.7 million in TRX. Is that Tron? Okay.
Yeah.
And then 4.7 million in ENA. Excited for the future ahead. So yeah, they're spreading the money around, Whack. We'll see. But perhaps this is when they come around, they launch the World Coin on Base, let's just say, for example, that it's going to cause a lot of excitement, I think, within the Ethereum community. And it's not surprising they launched a meme coin on Solana, to be honest. That's kind of meme coin heaven is Solana. I mean, Base does a lot of memes as well, but that doesn't surprise me. Does it surprise you?
No, I think, as ETH maxis, we would love for it to all be on ETH. This was a huge stress test for Solana, and people are giving them different grades. But I saw dozens of people trying to get into position, and they couldn't get into position for hours. So it was not a fun experience for a lot of people. The failed transactions went through the roof. Everything was just frozen. So I think that the blockchain, the space, everything is just not ready yet for that level of engagement and that level of intense fervor. Everyone's still developing. Of course, ETH is still going through its scaling roadmap, and with L1 scaling too, with increasing gas to 36 million, that's just the beginning. There's so much more coming for that. Solana, of course, are trying to get their Fire Dancer client out. They've been doing that for a few years now, and seems like we're getting closer to it launching, which will help them scale as well. So there's different ideas of what's going to come next. But one of the things that is clear right now is that crypto is not ready for this huge surge in interest, and there's still fractures when that happens in the space. So I think that
how would the performance have been on Base had they launched on Base? I'm just curious.
Base, the transactions per second would be a lot less overall compared to Solana, because the throughput just isn't there. But the fee market is different for Base compared to Solana. So what would happen is people would be able to bid up, the gas price, basically. Right. So they'd just be paying more in gas fees. So it's less likely to break in terms of transactions not getting through and stuff. But people would be getting transactions through if they paid for it. So it's a different approach. Even then, I don't know what kind of how bad the mempool would have gotten or any of that kind of stuff, how it would all work. I don't understand how the sequencer on Base works exactly compared to like Ethereum. Obviously, I know that much better for mainnet. But if it was on mainnet, it would be kind of like the other side NFT launch that the Bored Apes guys did a couple of years ago. And that's when, we burnt over 50,000 ETH in one day. Gas prices were high for hours on end. It would be a similar situation to that. So people would get their transactions through. It just, they'd be paying hundreds of dollars in fees. The ETH burn would just have been astronomical, but you would have gotten your transaction through, basically. So you just have to pay for it. So that's the difference, I guess. But yeah.
Well, there was some good news this week. Let's touch on that. The OBOL token was airdropped, and this is the announcement on their blog. We scroll down, there's it's cool. We haven't seen this in a while, where a protocol airdrop to solo stakers and Rocket Pool operators. Yeah. And that was nice to see. Solo stakers and Rocket Pool node operators will get 33% of the airdrop. So there's a link to claim your airdrop. But one thing we noticed, I don't know if this has been fixed yet, but they have a list they used for figuring out which wallets were eligible. And this is a list that's maintained. It's on GitHub. And on the left-hand column, you have the node wallet address, and on the right hand, you have the withdrawal address. They picked the node address, which is a problem for Rocket Pool operators. And there was some communication back and forth. The OBOL team is aware of this, and they were going to fix this by Friday to have the withdrawal address be the ones you can claim from. So that was caught pretty quickly. I think Tim Jensen was one of those who reached out to the support at OBOL right away. I think I checked mine. It was like 269 OBOL tokens I think I was eligible for. I think that's pretty common. But that was nice. We haven't seen that. I think the last ones to do this was Starknet when they did their airdrop. And that was a really nice airdrop, actually, as I recall, in terms of dollar terms. This one, I'm not sure. We'll find out. But there is a token lock. Yeah, there will be a token lock, as it says here in the announcement. Yeah, locked airdrop, and there'll be a governance vote to decide when that lockup period will end. So you won't be able to. It goes live tomorrow, I think, which is Friday, but you won't be able to sell your tokens until there's a vote. So, any thoughts on the OBOL airdrop?
Yeah, like it's nice that they're going out to solo stakers and to Rocket Pool node operators. That's really awesome to see. I'm not expecting this airdrop to be worth that much, sadly. Like I think it might be $1 depending on what the circulating amount is in the beginning, maybe a couple of dollars. So I strongly doubt that it'll be getting more than $1,000. Like that's the best case scenario, pretty much. It's more realistic that you'll be getting like somewhere between $150 to maybe $500 kind of amount, depending on how much is circulated to begin with. So it's a nice gesture, but it's not too valuable in airdrop. But it's a nice gesture, and that's awesome. So they join protocols like Omni and Celestia and Altlayer. I think I want to say that those ones. I'm not sure. I'm just thinking of some of the airdrops I got. I'm not sure if all of those were for staking. I know some of those was for staking, like Omni was for staking, and Starknet, of course, that we mentioned already. So I feel like a lot more protocols should be doing this. Because if you want to back, the people who are integral to Ethereum's success, then airdrop to Rocket Poolers, right? But I think Jasper was actually working out in the community that, how much would we have to earn to offset the losses that people have made by coming in with RPL. If they had started with Atlas at 10%, then they've lost, a certain amount of ETH worth of RPL. And how much would they need in airdrops from being a Rocket Pool node operator to kind of make that up? And I think he had realized that, you should have made it up by now with the airdrops that we've already had. But maybe we're still waiting. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to see. Airdrops in general, I think you mentioned those airdrops from last spring in 2024. And since then, it's been pretty paltry in terms of meaningful airdrops. You might get, I think Orbit as a bridge, they had one the other day. I think mine was worth $9 by allocation. So it's been kind of disappointing. We had Scroll was kind of a disappointing airdrop. It's still, even then though, for me it was a few $100. I'm not going to say no to a few hundred. I think we get spoiled when some of the earlier airdrops were a few $1,000, right? But if, hey, I'll take a few $100 if you just want to, throw me some money. I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Let's move on here to, Liquity. Liquity V2 is now live. So as you can see, there's 3 assets you can use as collateral. There's ETH, wrapped STETH, and rETH. And it's cool. You did a show just on Liquity. You had, who's the founder that you talked to?
The person I talked to was Sam, who is not the founder, but is the business dev and communications person. The dashboard that you're actually looking at right now, Pat, is actually their testnet dashboard.
Oh, is it?
So yeah, if you go close
refresh
this link, go back here and then refresh this page because it's live. There you go. So like if you press launch V2 now, there should be you can click on either of those. Yeah, you can click on that, and that's the actual front end now. So that's like got the right prices there, and that's got the right information. So there's actually you can see that the pool size is already getting bigger. And the amounts there are starting to take shape. There's going to be a Dune dashboard that tells you how much rETH is in here and stuff. So that's something that's going to be really exciting. Now, yeah, like you said, I've talked about Liquity on Rocket Fuel a lot. And, one of the things that I love about Rocket Fuel is like the values of the protocol. And, the fact that, certain contracts in there are immutable, like the rETH contract. And then also that, everything is open source. Like we've got bug bounty, we've got like very much like Ethereum aligned values, like it's uncensorable, permissionless, like trustless, all that kind of stuff. But with small elements of trust here and there, but like mostly trying to maximize that as much as possible. And Liquity is another protocol that shares a lot of those values. And their first version, they had LUSD, which was a stable coin that you minted by depositing ETH. And there was some design flaws with the way it worked because of like Ethena coming out and like, the demand for borrowing ETH like just exploded. So with that, the version 1 like kind of buckled under that strain and wasn't working that well anymore. But then with version 2, they've addressed, those structural issues. And what they've also done is added Lido's STETH, wrapped STETH, but the main thing, of course, that they've added is rETH. So because this protocol is immutable now, they won't be adding any more collateral types, like, until version 3, whenever that might be. But Sam, in his call with me, like, talked about how they had considered lots of different LSTs and they, tried to work out which one would be good for Liquity, and rETH was one of the only two basically that made the cut. And even then, like it was above Lido in a lot of ways. Lido's wrapped STETH has deeper liquidity and like more integrations and all that kind of stuff. So it wins out on some of those things, but rETH of course wins out on those other values that they really strongly support. So I feel like there's a huge synergy between Liquity and Rocket Pool. And, it's something that I'm really comfortable promoting and like, giving them shout outs because these are the kind of protocols that I want to see thriving. So I've been, really, really supportive of Liquity, like the whole journey. I think I've mentioned them more than 20 times on my show now. So yeah. The really cool thing you can do is, of course, the way it works is you can deposit your rETH and take a loan against that amount in their stablecoin Bold. And then they've incentivized pools for liquidity for between Bold and USDC and Bold and LUSD. So you can get those. Another thing you can do is use Liquidity to go leverage long on your rETH. So you can deposit your rETH, take a loan in Bold, then use that Bold to buy rETH and then deposit that rETH again. And you do that like, a couple of times. The more times you do it, the riskier it gets, of course. But, if you are of the mindset now that, the bull market is here and prices won't go down potentially like much more or are all from here, then it might be a good time for you to do that, go leverage long. That is not financial advice. We've always said on the show that the first rule is don't get blown up. So please don't get blown up. But if you want to do those kind of actions now, you've got Liquity here that will help you do it. So I'm super excited about Liquity. Like I've been talking about it every day and I'm happy to keep talking about it. I'm really hoping that, a lot of people use Liquity for rETH and that kind of drives some demand for rETH. And hopefully like Liquity and Rocket Pool can grow together.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. You can set your own interest rates. So you have you can customize a loan if you want to take a loan out. You can customize it, whereas you go to Aave, you can't, it's pretty, you don't have those controls. So this is kind of cool. It's a unique lending protocol and it allows you to do a lot of things and customize it to whatever your needs are. So, and they really do have, as you said, they really align with Ethereum values. And it's nice to see that they launch. Hopefully this will be a real success as it goes forward.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to wins. Do you have any wins for this week, Whack?
Yeah, my win for this week is like a bunch of conversations that I've been having with people about a protocol that I'm hoping to launch hopefully next week. It's an idea that kind of jumped out at me a couple of weeks ago, and it's just kind of been percolating.
Is it breaking news? Are you breaking news on this week's weekly
orbit?
No,
there's not. It's a tease. It's a tease. It's an announcement of an announcement.
Announcement of an yeah, we see those all the time.
So I'm going to be launching a protocol, and I will be fundraising for that through the Virtuals platform on Base. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm not saying too much yet about it. There's still some, I need to cross the T's and dot the I's, as the saying goes. There are a few things that need to be sorted out, but yeah, if you want to, that will be available to the public. And I'm really excited to share that information with you all. I'm not going to be shilling it too much on Rocket Fuel. I'll probably just mention it once and that'll be that. But if you want information about it, there'll be information coming soon. There'll be information on my Twitter. There'll be a protocol Twitter page that will get launched soon as well. So all of these things will be coming out hopefully next week. I'm really excited about it. So the win for me about that is this idea developing from a very early stage idea into something that could potentially be real, into something that I've gotten feedback from a few people and they're like, this sounds really exciting. The potential here is huge. So that kind of feedback has been really encouraging and that makes me feel really good. So that's my win for the week.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
My win is I like this. We haven't had it in a while. We just talked about OBOL, the airdrop for stakers, solo stakers and Rocket Pool stakers. I hope we get more of that going forward because I feel we're the most Ethereum aligned participants. We secure the network, and without us, there would be no network. And so I hope that new protocols that are launching consider stakers like us in the future. And a lot of them have, as we went through the list, but it's been kind of a lull period for the last 6 months without any. So this is a good door opening. I hope we have more going forward.
Yeah.
So that's my win for the weekend. I always take free money, even if it's just a couple $100.
Yeah.
It's a gesture that counts. I think
Absolutely.
OBOL, I feel like they're aligned with Ethereum values if they're given a third of their tokens to stakers. So that makes me feel good about it.
A third of their airdrop that they're giving.
That's what I meant.
So,
a third of the fraction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like 7.5% of the token.
Yeah. So it's not the highest amount, but it's something.
No. Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's great to see. So that's my win for the week.
It's a nice one.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us, everyone. Like and subscribe. We will see you next week. Hopefully we'll have some good news to share. Whack, we'll see you during the week. We'll be chatting, I'm sure. Take care.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
See you soon, guys. Bye.